Just letting you guys know you can listen to my podcast No Bleeps anywhere you stream podcasts or on my No Bleeps YouTube channel, link in the description. Hey guys, it's Billy and welcome back to Sesh. And you guys, James Charles just ruined Trisha Paytas. Like, he just went off on her so hard after she has been coming for him for defending Charli D'Amelio and Dixie D'Amelio. She called him creepy. It's a whole situation, but he literally clapped back so hard. So the situation between James and Trisha, I mean, they obviously had bad blood because of the fact that Trisha was once friends with Jeffree Star and then she's friends with Shane Dawson, and they clearly don't like James Charles, hence Dramageddon. And recently Trisha just randomly brought up James's name, and James said to keep his name out of her mouth, and that really set her off. She was so mad, so she just completely hates James Charles. Now, if you guys have no idea what's going on with this Dixie and Charli situation, they are not looking very good right now. They're in some really hot water because the people thought that Dixie and Charli were being very disrespectful in a new video that they have on their family channel with their mom and their dad, where they sit down for a family meal and they have a guest where they interview them, and the guest was James Charles. James Charles was not involved in any of the drama. Actually, he was getting praised for being the most professional in the video. Only the girls were in the drama, but obviously Trisha doesn't like James, so she had to bring him into some drama somehow, some way. James has been coming to their defense because they have been getting a ridiculous amount of hate. Honestly, yes, they were disrespectful in the video that everyone is talking about, but I don't think that they deserve threats that they are getting right now. So James came out and talked about the situation, saying, "This Charli situation is not sitting right with me. 100 million followers in 1 year, and y'all expect her to know how to be a perfect role model. Threats because she's a picky eater," and made a joke about a milestone. 30-year-olds dragging everyone half their age feels familiar. Now, Trisha decided to get involved in the situation. She has been commenting basically over the last couple of days about the situation, making different TikToks about Charli and Dixie and just going off on them and picking them apart. And so she decided she was going to turn the tables and start going at James Charles, and she came out and she tweeted this. "Definitely have always said no one deserves to be canceled. Everyone has room for growth / positive influence except James Charles. Please cancel him. He's a forever victim with a superiority conflict. He has never said sorry his whole life, hangs out with an underage girl regularly." So the only people that are getting called out right now are Charli and Dixie. So she's just bringing up James because she wants to bring up James Charles. I cannot, you guys. Basically, she says James has never said sorry his whole life. He has said sorry so many times. And he's said sorry this year a bunch, like when he overreacted about the Lauren Conrad situation, or, you know, things that he said or posted. He's literally said sorry about them. Like, I think that this year, especially, James Charles has really grown. You know, Dramageddon was a very big deal, and yes, he needed to be humbled. He was definitely not, you know, the way that he is now a year or two ago, that's for sure. He has really come down to earth a whole ton, and I definitely think he's like a lot more professional now. Yes, he has his slip-ups, but I don't think that he is afraid to say sorry. And then we get into the situation of her saying that he hangs out with an girl regularly. Do we forget that James Charles likes men? Or that James literally became friends with the Hype House, and Charli is a member of the Hype House, and literally everybody in the Hype House is the same age as James, or literally a year or two off, and Charli just happens to be the youngest one, but she's always with her big sister, who is 19, an adult, there to watch over her. And it's not like James was like, "Oh my god, I want to be friends with Charli, I want to hang out with Charli," like in a creepy way. Like, it's not like that at all. She's just happens to be friends with a lot of people that are older than her, and I think that's normal because of the situation, because she's in the Hype House, and the reason why she can't really hang out with people her age is because she's not going to school in person. She just moved across the country with her family, so it's not like she can hang out with any of like her hometown friends that are her age. These are like business friendships that became actual friendships, and now James is friends with like the whole freaking family, but that doesn't make him like a creepy family friend. And also, might I add, when he hangs out with Charli, who is 16, Charli is always with someone. She's either with someone from her team, she's either with someone from the Hype House, she's with her sister, and in this video especially, she is with her entire family, her entire team, a camera crew, the kitchen crew, the chef. I mean, it's not like he hangs out with Charli alone in a hotel room. Like, it's not creepy. Like, let's not make James out to be a creep in this particular situation. Like, Trisha definitely took it way too far in this situation, and she's making up just like a bunch of different stuff. I don't know why. I don't know if she's just trolling at this point, but she has made several videos about Charlie, Dixie, James at this point, and people want her to stop because people think that this is just not a good look for her. I don't know if she's 36, but that's the number that I saw floating around online, that she's like this 36-year-old woman talking about a 16-year-old, going off on a 16-year-old, and she's calling out the parent. If you watch the actual video of them at dinner, at one point in time, the dad is literally saying that whenever the girls have a problem about social media, the parents literally tell them to call James because they're doing so much that they know personally about social media and how to handle stuff online, and so they literally tell the girls to call James because he's basically a mentor for them. After this entire tweet situation, James Charles came on TikTok and clapped back at Trisha so freaking hard, you guys. He literally called her out, and this is what he had to say. Some of it I'm gonna have to bleep out because some of the things that he calls her out for from her past are just really bad, and you can't really say those words on here, so just know that.
How is it that James Charles is the victim in every single situation?
I didn't want to respond to this because I didn't want to give Trisha the attention that she's clearly craving. However, I've now been accused of being a child, and this is not an accusation that I'm going to take lightly. To insinuate that the relationship between Charlie and I is anything other than just a friendship is absolutely disgusting. I don't need Charlie, and Charlie does not need me. I became friends with the D'Amelio family as a whole very, very early on because this is all very, very new to them, and I wanted to be a friend and a mentor in any way that I possibly could. And Charlie and I, despite not being the same age, had one thing in common, which was coming to the spotlight at a very, very young age. This is something that Trisha has never experienced because the only reason she is in the spotlight is because she has said racist things. She said the N-word, she's done black, she offended the trans community, she offended the DID community, she said wasn't that bad of a guy, voted for Trump, and has started a fight with about every single other creator on this platform. You are in no position to be talking about me and my career, so I highly recommend that you stop starting fights with people that are half your age, pack it up, and work on holding yourself and your best friends around you because they and you are the problem.
Literally, period. Did he stutter? Period. She's done all those things, and he called her out for having friends that are also just as bad, like Shane and Jeffrey. Come on. I'm literally speechless. I just don't understand how she can act like she is this angel and can call out James Charles for literally nothing. She's pretending like he is a creep. He's not a creep, okay? He is literally not a creep hanging out with Charlie, and the entire time he was hanging out with her was with her family, and she's just calling him out like he is a creep. And your friends have done way worse than you're calling out James for. You're calling out James for being friends with Charlie D'Amelio. He literally likes men. You're trying to make something that's not. Call out your own friends. Or mind your own business because you literally have this big problematic past. And then Trisha came back and she clapped right back at him. She responded on TikTok.
And let's fact check some things, okay? You said I was a groom, called your never said that, sweetie. You said I did blackface. Where? Show me where, James.
And then she honestly quickly deleted this TikTok, but she basically said that James is creepy and he needs to leave Charlie alone.
Your creepy behavior is in the now. Leave Charlie alone. She is 16 years old.
That some of the things that he accused her of doing, like black, were something that never happened. And then I tweeted about the situation once Trisha posted this video, and I said she can't be serious right now because there is a photo of her doing what people are saying is face because she has a darker foundation on her face. And James even replied to this tweet and said okay with the photo. And a lot of people are saying that this isn't actually blackface because she's trying to do some Japanese street style. I'm really unsure of all the details behind this, but like I said, she very, very, very quickly deleted this TikTok, and obviously I'm sure this is just going to keep going on. She's probably going to go on the podcast and continue to talk about James and talk about this entire situation, but her logic in this entire situation has me just so absolutely confused. She's literally calling out James and saying, leave this girl alone. That's what she says in her TikTok. She says, leave Charlie alone. And I'm just like, why don't you leave Charlie alone? You've done literally 15 plus videos on Charlie and her entire family and Dixie, but you're telling James he's the one that shouldn't be, hanging out and talking to Charlie. He's the one that is defending her against haters, and he's helping her through the hate. So the fact that Trisha is calling James out and saying he's creepy for talking to her while she is over here talking about her in such a negative way and like bringing haters her way. It's so confusing. I'm completely lost by it. I don't know what she thinks, you know, she looks like, because at first a lot of people were like, wow, I can't believe I agree with Trisha and all of this stuff. And then she kept making videos and kept making videos and kept making videos. And then it got obsessive, and she was trending earlier on Twitter because people are just like, girl, you need to stop. At first, everyone agreed with what you were saying, and then you took it way too far, and you just should not be obsessed with a little girl like this. Like, she's 16, leave her alone. It's really not that deep. So it's definitely escalated to a whole other level, and I want to know what you guys think about this, because what James had to say, I did not think he was going to respond to Trisha, but he did, and wow, did he. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.